Hello and welcome to Richard August, the autistic Christian MGTOW, the red pill man who lights it up blue. This is Yea, the Bible saith this. Today's Bible readings shall be from the first half of Lamentations. That'll be the entire first and second chapter, and the third chapter up to verse 36. So, as always, they're from my 1560 edition of the Geneva Bible, and we will begin in prayer. Lord, open thou our hearts to hear, and by thy word to us draw near. Let us thy word still pure retain. Let us thy children and heirs remain. In Jesus' name, amen. Lamentations, chapter 1. How doth the city remain solitary that was full of people? She is as a widow. She that was great among the nations and princess among the provinces is made tributary. She weepeth continually in the night, and her tears run down by her cheeks, among all her lovers. She hath none to comfort her. All her friends have dealt unfaithfully with her, and are her enemies. Judah is carried away captive because of affliction, and because of great servitude. She dwelleth among the heathen, and findeth no rest. All her persecutors took her in the streets. The ways of Zion lament, because no man cometh to the solemn feasts. All her gates are desolate, her priests sigh, her virgins are discomfited, and she is in heaviness. Her adversaries are the chief, and her enemies prosper. For the Lord hath afflicted her, for the multitude of her transgressions, and her children are gone into captivity before the enemy. And from the daughter of Zion all her beauty is departed. Her princes are become like harts that find no pasture, and they are gone without strength before the pursuer. Jerusalem remembered the days of her affliction, and of her rebellion, and all her pleasant things that she had in times past, when her people fell into the hand of the enemy, and none did help her. Ye adversaries saw her, and did mock at her Sabbaths. Jerusalem hath grievously sinned, therefore she is in derision. All yet honored her despise her, because they have seen her filthiness. Yea, she sigheth and turneth backward. Her filthiness is in her skirts. She remembered not her last end, therefore she came down wonderfully. She had no comforter. O Lord, behold mine affliction, for the enemy is proud. The enemy hath stretched out his hand upon all her pleasant things, for she hath seen the heathen enter into her sanctuary, whom thou didst command that they should not enter into thy church. All her people sigh and seek their bread. They have given their pleasant things for meat to refresh the soul, O Lord. See, O Lord, and consider, for I am become vile. Have ye no regard, all ye that pass by this way? Behold and see, if there be any sorrow like unto my sorrow, which is done unto me, wherewith the Lord hath afflicted me in the day of his fierce wrath. From above hath he sent fire into my bones, which prevail against them. He hath spread a net for my feet, and turned me back. He hath made me desolate, and daily in heaviness. The yoke of my transgressions is bound upon his hand. They are wrapped and come up upon my neck. He hath made my strength to fall. Ye Lord hath delivered me into their hands, neither am I able to rise up. The Lord hath trodden under foot all my valiant men in the midst of me. He hath called an assembly against me to destroy my young men. The Lord hath trodden the winepress upon the virgin, the daughter of Judah. For these things I weep. Mine eye, even mine eye, casteth out water, because the Comforter that should refresh my soul is far from me. My children are desolate, because the enemy prevailed. Zion stretcheth out her hands, and there is none to comfort her. The Lord hath appointed the enemies of Jacob round about him. Jerusalem is as a menstruous woman in the midst of them. The Lord is righteous, for I have rebelled against his commandment. Hear, I pray you, all people, and behold my sorrow. My virgins and my young men are gone into captivity. I called for my lovers, but they deceived me. My priests and mine elders perished in the city, while they sought their meat to refresh their souls. Behold, O Lord, how I am troubled. My bowels swell. Mine heart is turned within me, for I am full of heaviness. The sword spoileth abroad, as death doth at home. They have heard that I mourn, but there is none to comfort me. All mine enemies have heard of my trouble, and are glad that thou hast done it. Thou wilt bring the day that thou hast pronounced, and they shall be like unto me. Let all their wickedness come before thee. Do unto them as thou hast done unto me, for all my transgressions. For my sighs are many, and my heart is heavy. Lamentations chapter 2. How hath the Lord darkened the daughter of Zion in his wrath, and hath cast down from heaven unto the earth the beauty of Israel, and remembered not his footstool in the day of his wrath. The Lord hath destroyed all the habitations of Jacob, and not spared. He hath thrown down in his wrath the strongholds of the daughter of Judah. He hath cast them down to the ground. He hath polluted the kingdom and the princes thereof. He hath cut off in his fierce wrath all the horn of Israel. He hath drawn back his right hand from before the enemy. And there was kindled in Jacob like a flame of fire, which devoured round about. He hath bent his bow like an enemy. His right hand was stretched up as an adversary, and slew all that was pleasant to the eye in the tabernacle of the daughter of Zion. He poured out his wrath like fire. The Lord was as an enemy. He hath devoured Israel, and consumed all his palaces. He hath destroyed his strongholds, and hath increased in the daughter of Judah lamentation and mourning. For he hath destroyed his tabernacle as a garden. He hath destroyed his congregation. Yea, Lord hath caused the feasts and Sabbaths to be forgotten in Zion, and hath despised in the indignation of his wrath the king and the priest. The Lord hath forsaken his altar. He hath abhorred his sanctuary. He hath given into the hand of the enemy the walls of her palaces. They have made a noise in the house of ye Lord, as in the day of solemnity. The Lord hath determined to destroy the wall of the daughter of Zion. He stretched out a line. He hath not withdrawn his hand from destroying. Therefore he made the rampart and the wall to lament. They were destroyed together. Her gates are sunk to the ground. He hath destroyed and broken her bars. Her king and her princes are among the Gentiles. The law is no more, neither can her prophets receive any vision from the Lord. The elders of the daughter of Zion sit upon the ground and keep silence. They have cast up dust upon their heads. They have girded themselves with sackcloth. The virgins of Jerusalem hang down their heads to the ground. Mine eyes do fail with tears. My bowels swell. My liver is poured upon the earth, for the destruction of the daughter of my people, because the children and sucklings swoon in the streets of the city. They have said to their mothers, Where is bread and drink? When they swooned as the wounded in the streets of the city, and when they gave up the ghost in their mother's bosom. What thing shall I take to witness for thee? What thing shall I compare to thee, O daughter Jerusalem? What shall I liken to thee, that I may comfort thee, O virgin daughter Zion? For thy breach is great, like the sea. Who can heal thee? Thy prophets have looked out vain and foolish things for thee, and they have not discovered thine iniquity to turn away thy captivity, but have looked out for thee false prophecies and causes of banishment. All that pass by the way clap their hands at thee. They hiss and wag their head upon the daughter Jerusalem, saying, Is this the city that men call the perfection of beauty and the joy of the whole earth? All thine enemies have opened their mouth against thee. They hiss and gnash the teeth, saying, Let us devour it. Certainly this is the day that we looked for. We have found and seen it. The Lord hath done that which he had proposed. He hath fulfilled his word that he had determined of old time. He hath thrown down and not spared. He hath caused thine enemy to rejoice over thee, and set up the horn of thine adversaries. Their heart cried unto ye, Lord, O wall of your daughter Zion. Let tears run down like a river, day and night. Take thee no rest, neither let the apple of thine eye cease. Arise, cry in the night, in ye beginning of the watches, pour out thine heart like water before the face of the Lord. Lift up thine hands toward him, for ye life of thy young children, that faint for hunger in the corners of all the streets. Behold, O Lord, and consider to whom thou hast done thus. Shall the women eat their fruit, and children of a span long? Shall the priest and the prophet be slain in the sanctuary of the Lord? The young and the old lie on the ground in the street. My virgins and my young men are fallen by the sword. You hast slain them in the day of thy wrath. Thou hast killed and not spared. Thou hast called as in a solemn day my terrors round about. So yet in the day of the Lord's wrath none escaped, nor remained. Those that I have nourished and brought up hath mine enemy consumed. Lamentations chapter 3. I am the man that hath seen affliction in the rod of his indignation. He hath led me and brought me into darkness, but not to light. Surely he is turned against me. He turneth his hand against me all the day. My flesh and my skin hath he caused to wax old, and he hath broken my bones. He hath builded against me, and compassed me with gall and labor. He hath set me in dark places, as they that be dead forever. He hath hedged about me, that I cannot get out. He hath made my chains heavy. Also when I cry and shout, he shutteth out my prayer. He hath stopped up my ways with hewn stone, and turned away my paths. He was unto me as a bear lying in wait, and as a lion in secret places. He hath stopped my ways, and pulled me in pieces. He hath made me desolate. He hath bent his bow, and made me a mark for the arrow. He caused the arrows of his quiver to enter into my reins. I was a derision to all my people, and their song all the day. He hath filled me with bitterness, and made me drunken with wormwood. He hath also broken my teeth with stones, and hath covered me with ashes. Thus my soul was far from peace. I forgot prosperity. And I said, my strength and mine hope is perished from the Lord, remembering mine affliction and my mourning, the wormwood and the gall. My soul hath them in remembrance, and is humbled in me. I consider this in mine heart, therefore have I hope. It is the Lord's mercies, that we are not consumed, because his compassions fail not. They are renewed every morning. Great is thy faithfulness. The Lord is my portion, saith my soul, therefore will I hope in him. The Lord is good unto them that trust in him, and to the soul that seeketh him. It is good both to trust and to wait for the salvation of the Lord. It is good for a man that he bear the yoke in his youth. He sitteth alone and keepeth silence, because he hath borne it upon him. He putteth his mouth in the dust, if there may be hope. He giveth his cheek to him that smiteth him. He is filled full with reproaches. For the Lord will not forsake forever. But though he send affliction, yet will he have compassion according to the multitude of his mercies. For he doth not punish willingly, nor afflict the children of men, in stamping under his feet all the prisoners of the earth, in overthrowing the right of a man before the face of the Most High, in subverting a man in his cause. The Lord seeth it not. May God add his richest blessing to this reading of his holy word. Thank you for watching and listening. This has been Richard August, the Autistic Christian MGTOW, the Red Pill Man who lights it up blue. This has been Yea, the Bible Saith This. I invite you to like and share this video with others, and to subscribe to my channel, And I invite you back tomorrow as we continue reading from Lamentations chapter 3, verses 37 on to finishing the book.